Alright, welcome back. V.O.C. YouTube channel. Big week in college football, big week up here in East Lansing. Obviously, supporting the school I go to. I know people are going to roast me. I'm a Notre Dame fan. But I also like Michigan State because I go there. Deal with it. Let's get into it. Alright, like I said, this is a big week. I'll get into the biggest game of the week. The last segment here that we'll talk about. First, I want to talk about some Heisman frontrunners. I think now we're in week 8, 9. I think it's 9 maybe. Week 9. I think that we have slowly started to see, make sure, okay, no distractions. We have slowly started to see, I think, some guys pop out to be the Heisman frontrunners. This is who I'm going to go with as my top 5 Heisman frontrunners in a particular order. I'm going to start with number 5, Kenny Pickett out of Pitt. Look, the guy's been in school for like 50 years now, it feels like. He's 23. He is older than Trevor Lawrence, who was Clemson's quarterback last year, and he just beat Clemson last week. Crazy. That is fucking nuts to me. He is 23 years old. Trevor Lawrence is 22. He played Clemson last week. Fucking nuts. He is older than a guy that's in the NFL. Fucking crazy. But, I mean, he has over 2,000 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 1 interception. Look, he's one of those guys that's been in the college football so long that he's kind of figured it out a little bit. So I think that's kind of where we see. And Pitt's doing really well this year. They're only lost to Western Michigan. So they're doing very well. So I think he's well deserving of being this. C.J. Stroud at number 4 for Ohio State. Look, has just under 2,000 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's an Ohio State quarterback. I mean, they're here every year because of what they can do offensively. And I think he's well deserving of being in it because he's put up some really big numbers. Number 3 is Bryce Young. And I know people are going, Bryce Young's the favorite, the odds-on favorite. I get it, but I don't think he's the Heisman Trophy winner as of right now, in my opinion. I have him as 3. He has almost 2,500 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He's played very well. He's had kind of a silent season, I'd say. It's not been very loud. That's why it's kind of surprising he is the odds-on favorite. But, look, he has the best stats out of all these guys. And he leads an Alabama team that's pretty good. Number 2 on my list is Kenneth Walker, Michigan State's running back. This guy is a fucking beast. The second best running back in college football behind Bijan Robinson for Texas. There's no debate on that one. That is true. And you go, well, he's the second best. Yeah. But right now, he is dominating, and he is leading this team. If it was not for him in the running game, Michigan State would not be here. They would not be 7-0 playing in the biggest games that are live Saturday. He almost has 1,000 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns. Beast. This guy has carried them on their backs. Number 1. And, you know, it might not come as a surprise, but Matt Corral for Ole Miss. Lane train, baby. Choo, choo. I'm always on the lane train. I will continue to be on the lane. Matt Corral is a fucking beast. Has just under 2,000 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had a game where he ran for 200 yards in a game. That was against Tennessee. This kid does it all. The reason Ole Miss is where they are is because of Matt Corral and Lane Kiffin. Fucking genius. But Matt Corral has taken what Lane Kiffin has thought of and approached as, and he's dominated with it. That is who I think is, you know, the top 5. And then I think the crazy one, and people are going to say this is dumb, but I think Georgia's defense deserves to be talked about. Could you give an award to a whole defense? Could you? I don't know. It could be talked about. It should be talked about. That defense is so good. They might be the best unit, best player in college football. But that's who I think, you know, it's going to change as, you know, the next final weeks come down. But, you know, you're starting to get into these big games where a lot of these guys could have Heisman moments. Kenneth Walker could have a Heisman moment this week. Matt Corral plays Auburn. He could have a Heisman moment. You know, these games come down to you could have these big games with Heisman moment. So, we'll see. But that's just who I think is the top 5 right now. And like I said, Georgia, someone on Georgia should be considered. Don't know who, someone. Alright, like I said, there's a lot of big games this week. I have a list of 5 big games that I'll just go through. I'll pick who I think is going to win, and then I'll talk about the 6th big game. Yeah, right? Yeah, okay, 5, and then the last one, obviously, clearly being the biggest game, maybe in Big Ten history. You could argue it. But not this game I'm going to talk about is not the biggest game in Big Ten history. Number 9, Iowa at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a 3.5-point favorite. Usually, like I've said before, the home team usually gets 3. In betting wise, I'm going to go with Iowa though. I'm going to put a little star next to it. I think Iowa beats them outright. I think Iowa's just a better team, and they kind of match up similarly. I can't say that word. Can't say it. They compare with the way that they play. Both run heavy defense. I think Iowa does that better. I think they win. Georgia and Florida. Georgia, Florida, that's not a big game, blah, blah. It is a big game because Dan Mullen's kind of on the hot seat here. They lose this game, the best possible record they have is 8-4. That's not acceptable in Florida. But I think if you look at the SEC East and how much better it has been, you can't hate on it. But that has big implications. Georgia's a 14-point favorite. I think Georgia wins. I stay on the Georgia bandwagon, but do they cover is my only question. I'm going to go with Georgia covers the 14. I think they score a lot, and I think they cover. I think it's 42-28, something like that. Generic number. I think Georgia covers. It's going to be somewhat, I think, close. Florida's going to come out. They're going to play hard. They're going to give it their all. And then I foresee Georgia kind of pulling away at the end, getting the cover at 14. Ole Miss at Auburn. Auburn's a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going Ole Miss outright here. Look, I've said it before. I believe Lane Kiffin. I believe Ole Miss. Lane Train. I do. I believe those two. Him and Matt Corral, I believe. I'm going to take them to go into Auburn and beat Auburn. Just am. Penn State, Ohio State. This game's not as big as it would have been if Penn State would have won last week. They lost to Iowa in the craziest fucking game ever. The longest game ever in FBS. Not time-wise, but with the length of overtime they played. Got to 9 overtimes. It was the most Big Ten fucking game I've ever watched in my life. Entertaining, boring. That's Big Ten football. You love it, you hate it. Awesome. But Penn State now has to go to Ohio State, and their coach has been a fucking idiot. He said in his press conference, we got to focus on Illinois twice. You're playing Ohio State, not Illinois. Can't get those two mixed up. And he said, we were playing at the big house. What? There's only one big house. You're going to the shoe, not the big house, you fuck. James Franklin is so not worried about his job at Penn State right now. It is nuts. He is more worried about, do I take USC? Do I take LSU? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? He's so much more focused on that this game is not, I think, a game that Penn State wants to be in right now. I just don't think so. Why does the shirt's a little tight in the arms here. Shirt's a little tight in the arm. Riding up there. A little tight in the arms. Fucking shirt. I might cut it. Make it look like I have muscles when I don't. I'm clearly going to take Ohio State. Not even a question if I take Ohio State. Do they cover 18.5? I don't think they cover. I think it's close, but Ohio State... It's close, but Ohio State somewhat dominates it. Now I have a gut feeling. I want to say, okay, Ohio State covers. Ohio State blows them out. I truly believe it. I think Ohio State scores almost 50, blows them out. I do. All right, just switch my mind there. It's how my mind works. Switched it up. Ohio State blows them out, and they cover. Georgia beats Florida, and they cover. Yeah, I'm going to go with these big covers. I just truly believe it. Now, the last game I'll talk about before the biggest game in Big Ten history, question mark. North Carolina at Notre Dame. And you're going to say, what, Caleb, chirp, 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 chirp at me. This isn't a big game. You're just talking about this. No, this is a big game. Notre Dame has one loss. It's to number 2 Cincinnati. The door is kind of opened up for if Notre Dame can run the table. If they can, I don't know if they will. I don't know. It's like, when I say that, I don't know. What happens here? Kyle Hamilton, Notre Dame's best player, not playing. Drop my pencil. Not playing. Does that show that the doom's going to happen this week? I don't know. North Carolina's record is not good. I think they're 4-3. They've underachieved big time from what I thought they could be and what I think everybody thought they could be. But they still have talent. They still have a really good team. Notre Dame is a 3.5-point favorite. I'm taking Notre Dame in this game close. I think it's going to be similar to last week. Close. Now, the Notre Dame USC game wasn't as close, right? It kind of pulled away, but it was a little closer than I think than the score anticipated, or been, whatever the fucking word is that they say. I think it's close. I think North Carolina might be able to score some points on Notre Dame. What does North Carolina's defense look like is the question. But I think Notre Dame wins close. Close. I think it's close. It could be a 7-point game. It's going to be close, I do believe. Now on to the biggest game of the week, fireworks. I'll do hand fireworks. Biggest game of the week, maybe the biggest game in Big Ten history, maybe the biggest game in Spartan Stadium history. Certainly the biggest game up here since the game of the century when they played Notre Dame in the 60s. I want to say it was 66 in the infamous tie. Going into this game, number 6 Michigan, number 8 Michigan State. Clearly, I think we know where I reside. Not just because I'm a student there, because I fucking hate Michigan. I fucking hate those pussy Wolverines. And if they could all break their necks, I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine. I'd laugh. Oh man, that sucks. As I'm laughing while I'm saying it. That is just what I think of Michigan. I fucking hate them with every bone in my fucking body. I just do. It pisses me off. Talk about them. But they've had a pretty good year. They run the ball really good. Defenses look better. I do like Jim Harbaugh as a coach. So we'll see. They come in as a 4-point favorite. I don't like that from a perspective of when I'm making my pick for the game, because that means with that number, it means everybody betting is going to be on one side, and I think everybody betting is going to be on the side that I'm on. I don't really like that. You know, it says that, you know, Vegas knows something when we don't. But 4-point favorite. Like I said, the whole team usually gets 3. They are getting their 3 here. I would have thought this game was more of a toss-up just because, or a coin flip, or a pick-em, just because of the fact that, you know, neither of these teams have really played anybody. And, you know, MSU did play Miami. Miami's not as good as when they once everybody thought they would be. Michigan hasn't beat a ranked team, played one. They beat Wisconsin. We all know what Wisconsin is not very good. So this is a big game. You know, both teams are 7-0. It's the first time both teams have come into this game undefeated at 7-0. That's huge. Like I said, first real big test for both of them. Biggest game in Spartan Stadium, I would argue it. This fucking place up here is electric. No, we had break this week, Monday and Tuesday, so we didn't have class. I get to class Wednesday. No one gives a fuck about class. No one gave a fuck. Our professor was like, yeah, we'll just review, have a special guest. We're not even going to fucking talk about school. This is game week. This is the biggest fucking week of the year. Biggest fucking weeks of your lives. Nobody gives a shit up here. Fucking game days up here. Big noon kickoffs up here. Barstools up here. This is fucking huge. Never in my life. I've been up here 3 years. COVID. Fucked up my 1 year. I've been up here 3 years. Nothing has happened this fucking big up here. Nothing. This place is like, no one's talking about anything else but this fucking football game. This game is huge. Huge, I tell you. Ticket prices, fucking skyrocket. This game is big. This is one of those games where it's like, this is an in-state rival. Both fucking sides hate each other to the death. We're hoping they both duel to the death. I will now come into my game pick. Whew. Right? But this is a big game. I've gotten multiple fucking emails. Gotta be courteous to Michigan fans, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, Michigan fans. You guys are a bunch of fucks. Bunch of fucking pussy Wolverine fucks. I don't give a shit about you. If I see you on the sideline, if I see you outside on the street, I might spit on you. I just might. Because if we were in Ann Arbor, you'd be doing the same fucking thing. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. But the one time I did go to Ann Arbor, Notre Dame, Michigan, last time they played, every Michigan fan leading up that game thought Notre Dame was going to beat them as well as we did as Notre Dame fans there. So they were very nice to us. It was a ploy, because they knew Notre Dame was going to lose. But they were nice to us. It was psychological fucking warfare. And Notre Dame got destroyed. It was not a fun game to go to. Pouring down rain wasn't fun. But that's what I'm saying. Do we do the psychological warfare? Like, oh, Michigan's going to come in, they're going to fucking kill us. We don't think that way here. We do not fucking think that way. We fight to the death. We are Spartans here, okay? This week, I'm the biggest fucking Spartan fan there is. Boom, boom, pow. I go to the university. Facial. Face it. Show me. Show this. Show that. Show that. Big week. I will now get into my game pick. I got off screen. This is how my fucking brain works. I will now go to my game pick. I think the game will be very fucking close. I think this game will be so close. Why did I win this game? Breathe. Breathe. Calm down. Breathe. I believe this game will be close. I really do. I think whoever can pass the ball the best wins. Both these teams fucking run the ball really hard and play aggressive defense. That's what they're made off of. That's what everything's built on. And now, if you look at it, look at last year, how the game was played, and how the season started out this year. MSU has better playmakers on the outside, and a quarterback that is maybe a little bit more, can throw the ball a little bit more. That is why I am leaning towards the Michigan State Spartans to win this game. But I think it's close. I think this game is extremely close. But like I said, whoever I think can throw the ball the best wins it. And I truly believe Michigan State can do that. Naylor, Reed, Mosley, and then you have Drew Payne, what's his name? It's not Drew Pine. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Peyton Thorne. I was thinking Notre Dame there for a second. I was thinking Green, Drew Pine, Notre Dame. Peyton Thorne. Okay? Clip that. Facial it. Clip it. Whatever. You want to cut that? Cut. Reshoot it. We're not going to. This is how this program works. Peyton Thorne's the quarterback, right? Really good quarterback, right? Really good. I think he can have a big day this week. That is why I truly believe Michigan State wins the game close. I think it's 27-21 MSU wins. That's my pick. I do. I truly believe it. I just believe this game is one of those games, close. Both teams haven't played anybody who can. They're very similar. So who can do the thing that they both normally don't do that often? The best, I think MSU does that. Michigan, a lot of the wide receivers drop a lot of open balls. They have quarterback problems with the fans-wise. That's just what I think. So that's just where I'm going to go. 27-21 MSU. And it's going to be a fucking electric up here. Before, during, after, electric. Brady Quinn, I'm fucking coming for you. I want to see you. My favorite Notre Dame player of all time. I'm coming for you, Brady. That is going to do it for College Football Thursday here. Fireworks. Big week up here. Big college football week. We're slowly getting into the bigger weeks as the season is starting to close. The playoff push is on us. I think the first playoff selection comes out either this next week or the 2 weeks, so we're really close to seeing those rankings. It's getting electric. It's getting fun. It's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching.